So Sprint just lit up its LTE network in 15 cities, which means that phones like the LG Viper are now officially and completely 4G phones. You can get LTE speeds. But there's a lot of LTE phones out there, like the LG Lucid, which is on Verizon. So you're thinking, okay, they're both budget friendly, $80 on contract, $50 on contract, LTE. Which one should I get? Which one should I go with? We're going to answer that question in this Dog Pound. I'm Cindy from PhoneDog.com. Before we start, I have to say especially to our friends at Best Buy Mobile for sending us phones to add to our One Paw Bandit game. When you walk into Best Buy Mobile to buy a phone, you don't have to worry about rebates because the price on the tag is the price you pay. So thank you, Best Buy Mobile, for being so awesome. Thanks, guys, for watching this video. We're going to compare the LG Viper from Sprint and the LG Lucid from Verizon. Let's get started. So the LG Lucid and the LG Viper, two great smartphone options right now, especially if you're on a budget. The Lucid is only $50 on contract. The Viper is a little more expensive at $80 on contract. But they both have great features, very similar. Again, LTE. Sprint just lit up its LTE network, dual-core processor, 5-megapixel camera. There's a couple of differences, though. For example, right off the bat, you can see that they're both Android phones, but the Lucid has a custom skin on top of Android, whereas the Viper doesn't. And so this is LG's custom skin, and then with the LG Viper you just have stock Android. Both of them do ship with Android 2.3, so it's the same version, but it kind of just depends on what kind of experience you want. A lot of this is just, you know, personal preference visually, which one do you prefer. With the LG Viper, you do also have Sprint ID, which is kind of a useless feature in my opinion, but for some people it may be useful. If you're new to Android, you can download ID packs that come with apps, widgets, wallpapers related to certain themes. So it's kind of easier than searching through the Google Play or the Google Play Store, you know, for hours, kind of seeing what's available. But other than that, it's a stock experience. You can see the dog here at the bottom. Go to the app drawer, and you can see all of your apps. They scroll. So overall, just a stock experience. This usually means that performance is better. Sometimes whenever you have a custom skin, it kind of bogs down the phone, and so sometimes it may lag a little bit, whereas when you have a phone with just stock Android, performance is kind of better. For some people, it's a little too dry, stock Android, but for some people, you know, they like the simplicity. With the LG Lucid, again, it's LG's custom skins. You can see it has a custom widget here, a custom dock that you can also customize yourself and change the shortcuts. And then the app drawer kind of has a different style to it, and then it's organized into categories. So you can see I have two categories here, but I can add a category if I would like. Then I can expand them out. On top of that, you know, things like the messaging interface, that's going to look a little different. So if we go to messaging, and you can see kind of a little different here. The keyboard, it does come with, the LG Lucid comes with LG's custom virtual keyboard, but it also comes with swipe, so you can use that. So you don't get the stock Android keyboard out of the box. Now obviously you can download other keyboards from the Google Play Store. There's tons of them available, but you do have the LG keyboard, whereas, you know, with stock Android you're going to get the Android keyboard. Both of them are good. I kind of have better experiences with the stock Android keyboard, but, you know, again, considering that you can download alternate keyboards, it shouldn't be too big of a deal. And then you can see you also have swipe available on this one. So, you know, kind of, again, one of those advantages of having stock Android out of the box is that you don't have to worry about all these manufacturer custom software enhancements. Going back to the home screen, you can see also LG has customized the method of adding widgets and so forth. It also comes with a couple of custom widgets from LG, like App Manager, analog clock. That's actually an Android widget. You do have the email client, digital clock, a couple of other custom widgets like Finance, Friends Plus, In Touch. You get My Verizon Data, Photo Album, Photo Frame, Rich Note, so kind of like a notepad widget. So, you know, that's what you get with LG's custom UI. Now, there are a few things that LG's kind of left alone with its custom scan. For example, if we go to the gallery on both of these phones, you can see that it's the same. So this is the same stock Android gallery on both phones, even with LG's custom skin. However, if we go to something like the dialer, the phone, you can see some of the customizations that LG has made here slightly different for both of them. And then again, the notification panel, with LG's custom skin, you have these toggle buttons, which can actually be very, very useful. I love having these toggle buttons. I wish Google would add that to stock Android. You can also edit this, so you can change which toggles you have here, and you can see the Wi-Fi button is actually just a giant bar across the top, which is interesting, but it makes it really easy to get to. So I personally think this is an advantage. I love having those toggle buttons, but you can kind of get an idea of what LG's custom skin is like compared to stock Android. So the display on these phones is basically the same. They both have a 4-inch display with a resolution of 480 by 800. That gives you about 233 pixels per inch. And they're both pretty decent. There's no Super AMOLED or AMOLED display here, or Super LCD. Just a standard LCD panel. They both look very clear, very sharp. The colors look good. They're not extremely impressive displays, but at the same time, there's not really a whole lot to be disappointed about, especially considering the price. Again, it offers great clarity and good detail. So, but same in terms of the display. Neither one really has an advantage there. Hardware, other hardware features, they are pretty different. If I turn them over, you can see the designs, very, very different, and really they both have a great design. It kind of just depends on which one you like more. I actually like them both, so I don't think I could really pick. You can see on the Viper, it has kind of this silver metallic, it actually is just plastic, but it looks like metal. It has sort of this design to it that makes it look like metal, and you've got some nice accents around the sides. And it's it's a really nice design. They're both kind of thick, as you can see, because they're both LTE devices. And so, you get kind of the more high-end, expensive LTE devices. They kind of find ways to make them thinner. But when you're talking about a mid-range, budget-friendly 4G phone, they are kind of thick. But both of them suffer from that. So, but that's the Viper. It has a nice metallic design to it. And then the Lucid has some nice curves on the sides. On the back, you've got this nice kind of gradient effect with the red fading into the black, and then nice curved sides and the tops and the bottoms. So they both look great. The design, I think LG did a great job with both of these phones. Now, I mentioned in the intro that both of these phones are LTE devices. The Lucid is on Verizon and the LG Viper is on Sprint. They're both LTE, however, Sprint just lit up its LTE network, and it's only in 15 cities. So if you're not in one of those 15 cities, then you're only going to be getting 3G. Now, they're supposed to finish rolling out their LTE network by the end of 2013. However, in the meantime, the Viper has a slight advantage there just because Verizon has an LTE network in more places where Sprint has. I'm actually in Dallas, which is where Sprint's LTE network has been lit up. However, as you can see, I'm currently still only getting a 3G connection, even though I have 4G turned on. So it might just be coverage in my area, and obviously, again, this is going to depend on coverage in your area. So we can compare speed tests. However, keep in mind that this isn't really going to be an accurate depiction of what this comparison would be like if you actually had an LTE connection on both phones. But you can see some of my results here on the LG Lucid. I always have great speeds with Verizon's network. I'm getting 19, 20, 21 megabits per second, and then kind of lows of 8 to 10. Their LTE network has been great. With Sprint's 3G network, the speeds have been pretty awful. As you can see, 50, 47, then it kind of goes up to about 120, and then I had a high of 330 kilobits per second. But really, Sprint's 3G network has really been suffering lately, and so I wish I had an LTE connection to compare both of these more accurately. But at least, it's not too big of an advantage because now that Sprint has lit up its LTE network, they're a little more equal. But just keep that in mind. Check those cities, see if you're in an area where LTE has been lit up. Otherwise, a huge advantage to the Lucid for actually being connected to an LTE network.